Okay, so from here, let's take our hands towards our chest, press ourselves up. And we're gonna come onto our right side hip and set up for side forearm plank. So I'm on my right hip and I'm having my right forearm on the floor. And in doing this, let's look and see, make sure that your right shoulder is on top of your right elbow. And you can have your palm flat. Some people like to make a fist. Either way is good. And then you can have your left leg, top leg foot crossed in front of your bottom leg. Your left hand at your left hip. So right now, think of holding your right side up from the floor and try to get your head somewhat in alignment with your spine. Press into your feet, your right forearm, and then lift your right side up. And then as you do this, you might stay right here in this situation with your legs, or you could take your left leg on top of your right leg. From here, you could stay here with your breath, or you could inhale, lower both hips, exhale to lift, inhale, lower, exhale to lift. I just think really strong with the inner thighs, toned with the glutes, and of course that right side really hugging into the spine. Last two, and last one. Lower your hips. Let's take a stretch. So we're just gonna come into this mermaid shape, right foot in front of the left thigh. Take your left hand to hold your right calf or ankle, reach your right arm up, take a breath. Exhale, side bend to the left. And you could just hold your head in a position that feels good to your neck. Really stretch your right fingers away from your right hip. Give yourself a couple of full deep breaths into your right side. Another full breath in and out. And come up and we'll take that onto the left side. So now coming onto your left hip, when you set up, again, place your left elbow so that your shoulder is right on top of it, palm flat or make a fist. Cross your right leg, foot on top or in front of your left, and then take your right hand to your right hip. So now concentrate on hugging your left side in from the floor, lift up, and then either stay here with your legs like this or take your right leg on top of your left leg. So staying with your breath, or with your inhale, lower your hips towards the floor, exhale to lift. And we'll go for 4 more. And 3, these are very enjoyable. And 2, it's a little hard. And 1 more. And then lower down gently. So coming into the mermaid shape on this side for your stretch, holding onto right calf or ankle, left arm up, take a breath. Exhale and side stretch to the right. Really reach your left fingers away from your left hip and breathe into that left side. A couple of full deep breaths. And another full breath in and out. And sit up and make your way onto your back again with your feet about hip-width distance apart on the floor. And when you lie down, we're going to set up for a shoulder bridge exercise. So with your feet pressing evenly into the floor, your arms and palms of hands, fingers pressing evenly into the floor. Exhale, lift your hips up. And when you lift your hips and your back up, I would say to try to feel, for the most part, the tip of the shoulder blades or your bra line are staying somewhat heavy to the floor. And then from here, let's take the right knee, lift it up on top of the hip, and then take your right leg extended up towards the sky. So with your right leg lifted up, feel that you're not pushing into your neck. And then as you are ready, inhale, lower your right leg towards your left inner thigh alignment, and then exhale, lift. Now energetically, keep your left heel on the floor, working towards your left glute. Really firm and tone your left glute and hamstring. Last 2, inhale, lower, exhale, lift. 1 more. And then bend your right knee, place your right foot on the floor. And now your left leg. Exhale, left knee up, and then extend the left leg straight up. As you're ready, inhale, lower your left leg towards your right inner thigh. Exhale to lift. As you're doing this now, you're energetically drawing your right heel towards your right glute, toning your right glute and hamstring. And 2 more of these. And then bend your knee, lower your left foot to the floor. With your exhale, gently roll your spine down bone by bone. And draw the knees into your chest. Give a firm squeeze, maybe a little rock and roll side to side. Again, you could roll it to the side to come up or rock forward and back to sit up. We'll make our way back to all fours, setting up for downward facing dog again. So now when you come onto all fours, actually I'm going to turn this way just so you can see better. When you come onto all fours, curl the toes under, exhale, downward facing dog. So coming into your down dog alignment again, in this shape, notice what you notice. Maybe it's easier to, again, lower the heels, to press your thigh bones back, to stretch your spine back, and then feel the breath flowing through your body. Another full breath in, and a full breath out. And now coming forward into your plank, pause here, take a full breath in and a full breath out. And now with your inhale, lean slightly to the right to help you to step your right foot forward to your thumb again. So once again, you're in your low lunge. Pause here, we're gonna set up for side angle, Utthita Parsvakonasana. So our back left foot, like we did before, we're gonna turn it out so we can lower the left heel. And then what we wanna do here is see that our right heel in front is somewhat in alignment with our left inner arch and back. And with your left foot, you actually want to turn the toes out more towards the long edge of your mat. Now keeping your right knee bent over your ankle, take your right hand either on a yoga block to the outside of your right foot, or you could stay on your fingertips. Take your left hand onto your left hip, and then rotate your torso to face the left. Now feel your right leg, outer leg, and right inner arm press against one another. Keep your head in alignment with your spine. And then think of lifting your left inner thigh and pressing your tailbone forward. Stay here, or take your left arm up. Maybe stretch it over your left ear. Breathing into that shape. If you want more challenge here, you could try lifting your right arm up from the floor. Try to have both arms alongside your ears. And breathe into that. Another full breath in and out. And then gently lower your right hand, your left hand, pin onto the ball of your back left foot. Step your right foot back and come into your plank again. Pausing here, so breathing into that plank. And now with your inhale, you're going to lean slightly to the left. And then with your exhale, step your left foot forward and then turn your right foot out. And actually, I think I just told you that wrong. You want to lean to your right, but anyway, never mind. Bring your left foot forward. So now once you have your left foot in front for your low lunge, turn your back right foot out, and then set up your front left heel with your back right foot inner arch. And then once you have that, left hand on the floor to the outside of your left foot. Maybe your left hand is on a yoga block. Really take your left inner arm and left outer leg to press against one another. And then take your right hand to your right hip and rotate your torso to the right. Keep your tailbone forward towards your pubic bone. Draw your head and chest away from your right foot. Stay here, maybe take your right arm up or stretch it over your ear. Tone and lift your right inner thigh and breathe. You might stay here or try lifting your left arm up alongside your ear. Give it a couple more breaths in the shape of your pose. Another full breath in and out. And then gently lower your hands to the floor, pivot onto the ball of your back right foot. Step back your left foot for a moment, breathe. And then lower your knees and come back to child's pose. So resting in child's pose for just a couple of breaths. Exhaling, letting go. Another full breath in. And a full breath out. And then let's stretch out fully onto your front body and set up for swimming. So when you stretch out, let's take the arms out in front of the shoulders. Rest your chin or forehead on your mat and let your legs be hip-width distance behind you. And then think about pressing your tailbone down to your pubic bone. Lift your navel into your spine. And bring your right arm and your left leg up from the floor. Lift your chest from the floor. Keeping your chest lifted, lower right arm, left leg. Now lift left arm, right leg. And now try lifting both arms and legs and paddle faster. And now you're swimming, and you're swimming, and you're not going anywhere, but you are doing something good for yourself. Swimming in the desert. And then gently lower down, hands beside the chest. Let's press the hips back again, coming into that child's pose for just a moment. We're gonna breathe into that. Another full breath in, and a full breath out. Have a seat, and when you have a seat, let's stretch the legs out in front of you. So the legs will stretch out totally together. So it's like your legs are really zipped up strongly. And then take your hands, interlace your fingers together with the webbing hands behind your head. Pull your elbows in towards one another. Sit up tall. Feel like you're lifting yourself off of your hips. When you exhale, round forward, taking your forehead towards your knees. When you inhale, sit up tall. Now when you exhale, you're going to lean your weight back behind your hips. So we're making our way into teaser. This is also called Navasana boat pose in yoga. So when you lean back, you could certainly keep your feet to the floor, or you could start to lift your legs up. And if you do that, really think about trying to keep your low back rounded, but your ribs and chest lifted. And then lower your legs. Exhale, fold over your thighs. Inhale, stack yourself up nice and tall. Exhale again, lean back. So going there again, teasing gravity. When you lift the load of your legs, if you're doing that, again, think of pulling your abdominal belt into your spine. Lift your ribs and chest off of your hips. And one more time, lower the legs. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift yourself up. Exhale, lean back. Float the legs up. Try to really reach the toes up. Really lift your chest. And lower down. All right, let's make our way back to all fours. I'm going to turn back around. So we're sitting up for a downward facing dog one last time. So you have those fingers spread wide, curl toes under. Exhale, lift the hips up and back. So now in this down dog pose, or what you might necessarily feel more like a resting pose now, breathe into that. So give yourself a couple of full deep breaths. And one more full breath in and out. Come forward to the plank. And again, breathe fully in and out. Now lean to the left to help you to step your right foot forward to your thumb. Now pause here, and you're going to take this big step forward with your left foot to meet your right. So we're going to have the 2 feet together, our knees bent, and our hips flexed. We're going to make our way into Utkatasana, chair pose. So see that your big toes are touching, a little bit of space between your ankles. And then take your hands to your hips, pull your elbows back, and then try to lower your hips more towards the floor. Keep the hips there, and now lift your ribs and chest up towards the sky. Now maybe take your arms alongside your ears. And as you settle into this chair pose, think about how much you're lifting all sides of your spine up through your fingers. Notice your breath. And now let's take the palms together at the heart. We're going to twist this chair pose. So we're going to twist to the right and take your left outer arm against your right outer thigh. Try to really press arm and leg against one another, and then move your hips a little bit to the right. They tend to go to the left. And then pressing the palms into one another, pull the chest away from the hips and rotate the chest up towards the sky. Stay here with your breath, or to challenge your balance, look to the floor. Keep arm and leg connected, but try to lift your left foot from the floor if you can, and pause there with your breath. Lower your left foot, untwist, place your hands to the floor, and step back to your plank. So coming back to that plank, let's pause here, breathe in and out a couple of full deep breaths. Another full breath in and out. With your inhale, lean to the right to help you to step forward with your left foot, exhaling. Big step forward with your right foot to meet your left. Just as before, setting up chair pose, big toes touch, ankles a little bit separated, hips down and low. Place your hands on your hips and then keep your hips low as you lift your ribs and chest up. Same idea, reach the arms up. And as you settle into your pose, notice your breath. Strongly hugging those inner thighs together. Place the palms together at your heart. As you exhale, revolve your chair to the left. Take your right outer arm against your left outer thigh, pressing them into one another. Hips a little bit to the left if you can. And then draw your chest away from your hips and up towards the sky. Stay here with your breath. Or to challenge your balance, look towards the floor. Keep right arm and left leg connected and maybe lift your right foot from the floor. Breathing there. And right foot with left foot. Untwist both hands to the floor. Step back to find your plank again. Give it a full deep breath in and out, your last plank. Another full breath in and out. And lower the knees. And come back to child's pose one more time. In the child's pose, let's give a couple of full deep breaths. Letting go and releasing. Another full breath in and out. And then your hands beside your chest, press yourself up, have a seat, and then lie down on your back. Now let's do a couple more poses to help finish the practice here. So when you lie on your back, we're going to take it into figure 4 shape. So your right ankle is going to cross on top of your left thigh. Really flex your right foot strongly. Maybe take your right hand to press your right thigh away from you. And notice your breathing here. This might be where you stay, or if you wanted a deeper stretch, lift your left foot up. Take your both hands to either hold the back of your left thigh or the front of your left shin. If you're doing that, flex both feet. Maybe use your right elbow or forearm to press your right thigh bone away. Give it a couple breaths. Think about breathing in towards your right hip. And lower your left foot if you lifted it, uncross the right. And now the other side, take left ankle on top of right thigh, flex left foot. Take your left hand maybe just to help open that left hip and thigh bone away from you. Or lift the right foot up for a deeper stretch, holding onto the back of your right thigh or the front of your right shin. Flexing both feet if you're doing that to help protect your knees. Maybe use your left elbow, forearm to press your left leg away from you. Notice your breath here. Couple more full deep breaths. And lower that leg if you lifted it, uncross the left. Moving into happy baby. So for happy baby, exhale, bring both legs up, knees bent. You could hold on to the back of your thighs and just sort of bring your inner thighs and outer sides of your torso against one another and both feet flexed. Or you could take your arms on the inside of your legs and take your hands to hold on to the outside edges of your feet. And then strongly press your feet and hands into one another, keeping your ankles on top of your bent knees. And as you're pressing feet and hands into one another, feel your spinal curves stretching more out on your mat. You could stay here, or you could open the legs wider, more into a straddle. You could do one leg at a time, or you could do both legs at the same time. You could also do a very gentle rocking side to side action through the back of your sacrum. Really just letting gravity do that for you, not forcing. Coming back to the center, drawing the knees in towards your chest, holding onto the front of your shins, and then bringing your forehead, your head up, your forehead and knees maybe touching, and relaxing your shoulders from your ears, and just noticing how compact you are in this shape and how much your mid-back, maybe your lower back is pressing into the floor. And then release that and stretch yourself out nice and long on your mat. I started to say your floor, it might be your floor, should be your floor, your mat, and just take a well-deserved rest. So closing your eyes And just coming into the sensation of your breath. Just notice what you notice now in regards to how your body is feeling now from where it did in the beginning of your practice. And so as you're coming into the awareness of your breath and your body resting, maybe notice the pitter-pat of your heart and sort of that tingly sensation of the physicality your body just put forth. And as you're resting your body, give yourself gratitude for making yourself practice today, and gratitude for the physical effort that your body put forward in your practice today. And gratitude not only to yourself, but to one another. And even though we are practicing from a distance, we still have the support of one another. We're not alone. And much gratitude to that. And thank you so much. And the light within me recognizes and honors the light within you. Namaste.